Thank you, councillors. Is the sound better? Can you hear me? I asked for the 5 minutes break to address the whips and to discuss with them how we can move forward. We have agreed with all the whips that we are going to go informal. I'm going to allow council to go informal for the next 15 minutes. That will allow, number one, the safety and evacuation officer to quickly address us for a minute, show us where the exit points are and all the safety and security procedures. Number two, it will allow the executive mayor to address us on the state of the Metro Center and the plans to get us back into the Metro Center. And then once he has addressed, we'll allow 5 questions. 5 questions. That's it. So that we are able to go back to our formal council and proceed with the business of the day. At this stage, we are now entering the informal council, and I will request Mr. Makhubele just to come and give us the safety procedures, please. Thank you.
Good morning, councillors. Welcome to Brixton Multipurpose. In terms of emergency evacuation, you can look at your back. There is a ramp there that you go through side that will lead you to the sports field, which was identified as one of our assembly points. Secondly, on my right-hand side, there is a ramp going up with a staircase. The entrance that you used to come in there, you use it as another means of escape. We have identified a tennis court as one, or the second means of our assembly point. And then on the podium, where there is a speaker, there's 2 means of escape. You go through this door up until the parking lot. We identified it as well as one of our assembly points. From the upstairs, there is signage all over that will lead you to all 3 points of escapes to the safer place, to the assembly points. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now ask the executive mayor to come and address us on the state of the Metro Center and the plans on how we can go back to the Metro Center.
Thank you very much, Speaker of Council. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge you this morning, this rainy morning. Let me acknowledge the MMCs that are present. Let me acknowledge, I'm not sure if the head of administration is here. In his absentia, the Chief Whip of Council, councillors,
the sound, because, okay, just speak to the mic. I think the issue is the sound.
Am I not audible? Am I audible now? My apologies, councillors. Let me acknowledge all the councillors that are present and also acknowledge the residents in the city of Johannesburg. I'm not sure if in our opening we did congratulate the Bokkers for their victory, but we appreciate the hard work that they put in to defend the World Cup. Speaker of Council, I was briefed to respond, or in fact, share some light on the Metro Center precinct. and to bring councillors into confidence as to why we are here. I think my first point of departure in my representation, Madam Speaker, and this should be noted, that the challenges that that have now come into the fore were discovered or identified in 2014. In 2016, when the administration changed, it set aside the plans to address the structural integrity and the maintenance of the Metro Centre precinct. This was followed by a report that was tabled before Council in 2019 that declared the Metro Centre precinct structurally condemned. And I would recall, Madam Speaker, that even my predecessor, the former Executive Mayor, Councillor Thapelo Ahmad, had a few engagements with the legislator in relation to the structure. Now, the report had recommended that the precinct needs to be decanted. The fire that was experienced at Metro Centre came at a time and it just sped up the process. Madam Speaker, also noting the fact that the council chamber is a new structure that is still intact. However, we are here today because of the priority of the safety of councillors. The city of Johannesburg has been prone to disasters. Although the council chambers are habitable and they can be utilized, but for this council sitting, we had to ensure that the venue that we accommodated councillors in is one that is safe. The custodian of the property that belongs to the city of Johannesburg, which is JPC, is finalizing their plans, the process of decanting sitting, Madam Speaker, that will give you above all. May I humbly end there for now, Madam Speaker, and hand back over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, EM. Maybe don't go as yet, EM. They can. I did allow for 5 questions, just in case there are issues of clarity. So I have noted Councillor North, both of you from Action SA, Councillor Van Wyk and the whip of Council of Action SA, Councillor Limatlan. There's 3. Those are the 3 questions, so we can proceed. There's 4 at the back. I can't see the councillor there. I've noted you. Councillor Edwards, so there's 4. Councillor Zita, 5. Those are the 5 questions. Thank you. Councillor Lott.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. Look, I think we've been through this issue with the Metro Centre for several years. I would really encourage the Executive Mayor to not be misled on this issue. The report from 2019 stated very clearly that the structural integrity of that building was never in question. And if you go back to the recordings of Mayoral Committee of 2022, you will find that the structural engineers confirmed that. The issue was a lack of maintenance and a lack of care, particularly with regards to the facades outside, the electrical engineering within the building, and various other things. JPC has successively ignored various mayors, including from the ANC, the DA, etc., to handle the maintenance issues over the last several years. And what seems to be happening is that they are pushing this building into a state of disrepair in order to force a decanting, in order to force us to spend excessive amounts of money on that building. I'm not buying this story, Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry, because we've been here, we've interrogated the professionals that investigated that building itself. And JPC must provide us with a structural engineer's report and a professional certified report from people that know what they are doing. We are not happy with hearing that they'll give us a technical report sometime in the near future, because I can tell you now they are misleading every single councillor in this house. The issue is not merely councillors not being able to go to council. The issue is that a number of services are offered from that building. It is costing the city an exponential amount of money to house officials in other parts of the city. A lot of them are working from home, which means they cannot service the residents of the city. And that is our concern as councillors. We do not have information on where people can get building plans. We do not have information on how services are operating on a part-time basis. And that's really what we need in order to function as oversight. But I would really encourage you, regardless of a council sitting, that we set down a date for a technical report and response back from JPC. Including professional opinions that are given to.
Please assist with the sound for Councillor Libatlang. Do we have another roving mic?
Thank you very much, Speaker. As Action SA, we are quite disappointed because, number one, we have written 3 letters, exactly 3 letters to the Executive Mayor, to the MMC of Economic Development, even to the Speaker herself. Even to date, we have not received any acknowledgement or response to those letters. Number 2, Speaker, is that we are getting a response that is not in official writing. We are told there is a technical report that will be given to us in a council meeting. There's no date. When is that technical report? And where is that technical report coming from? Is it a report from JPC? Is it a report from the mayor's office? What is actually happening? Is it a report from engineers? So that we know this is a report that is professionally compiled. Number 3 is that, Speaker, we have over 3,000 employees of the city who are sitting at home. We can tell you now they are sitting at home
executive mayor. Working from home, we had issues of emails, we had issues of phones not working. Whilst residents were logging calls, whilst residents were raising issues of service delivery, they could not get through those employees. So we are asking, what is happening? What is the plan? What is the way forward? Number 4 is that we are requesting as Action SA, can this council work and function properly? Can it not be a council that works based on who says what, but can it work based on professionalism and a team that is working on the solutions of the problems faced by the city of Johannesburg? So we are saying, Speaker, we are quite disappointed in this response because there is no solution to the problems that are faced by the residents and also to the Metro Center building. Because the mayor is saying to us that there's a certain part of Metro Center that is working and there's a certain part of Metro Center that is not working. Metro Center is one building. That is our understanding. When we walk into Metro Center, it's one building. So you cannot say we must divide or divorce a certain part of a building from one actual building. So we are saying is that we want council to proceed. We don't want council to collapse. But we need to have reports and things that are in writing, things that we can go back to our residents and say to them, this is actually happening in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you very much.
Councillor Edwards at the back. Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, on the 3rd of March this year, we wrote to the former executive mayor warning him about the state of the Metro Center building, and we didn't get any response. We then did we wrote a number of letters to follow up about the state of the Metro Center, and there was no response. Speaker, if you can recall very well, we had spent some money to renovate the Metro Center, the ablution areas and other areas, which amounted to about 29 million. Hence, now we're here with the Metro Center because there's 2 reports that actually refer to the assessments of the Metro Center building. We've got a report that was done in 2017 and a 2019 report that was done and facilitated by JPC. Now, the question is, if those reports are in place, why were we spending money to renovate? Why did we spend the 29 million to renovate the Metro Center? In all our letters, when we communicated both with the former mayor and the current mayor, when no response was received, we raised very important questions. The first question we raised was, how will it take and how much will it take to renovate the building? And the second one that we asked was, what is the plan for maintenance of that particular building, the Metro Center? And we even asked the mayor if they were considering to demolish the entire Metro Center, and we did not get any response. Hence, now we are here. And if we look into this current building where we are, we can see similarities to the Metro Center in terms of maintenance and also OHASA, because we can see there's defects in this same building. So, Executive Mayor, what we are asking you as Action SA is, what outline the steps that you are going to take to correct the abuses, not only councillors, but the employees of the municipality. And what we are doing right now, we're compromising service delivery to 6 million residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zita. Who's taking Councillor Teleko? It's fine.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And I'd like to thank the Mayor for clarity. As EFF, we're very concerned about the service delivery. Because we thought the building, if it's unlivable, we thought if the building can be rehabilitated, then we can move there. But now the mayor has given clarity that it's unlivable, and we thank him very much. We will await the technical report. But I'm surprised, because as EFF, we are 29 battalions. I'm surprised others were not concerned about the report. Now all of a sudden they are giving feedback. And if they want to come to us, they must tell us, so that we can have 44 extra members. Because we didn't know that we have other councillors of the EFF. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've added Councillor Rapadu as the fifth one. Councillor Rapadu.
And we need to come together making sure that we pass the necessary budget to fix the Mashaba at that time. The S1 mayor at that time alluded to the fact that there is no money to fix this thing. So when we speak about history, we must not be selective. Like all these things are new. They're not new, Speaker. They're not new. Some councillors, even the ones from the red, supported Mr. Mashaba at that time. So we need to remember or remind each other of history. Some of us were councillors at that time. Some... How do we rehabilitate? How do we renovate the center? Because of the need that we are and the challenges that we are facing right now. 3,000 workers can't be sitting at home. But it needs councillors to come together, not to bicker, not to fight, but to come together to say, how do we move the city forward in passing this budget to renovate? That is all, Speaker. And that is why, as the ANC will be supporting a conversation that's to speak about how do we take the city forward. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Executive Mayor, those are the 5 comments and questions. You may then end this session.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think noting the information that has been presented, I will definitely take into account the advice that has been submitted. I will look extensively into all the reports that exist. The Metro Center Precinct, Speaker, is, I can say it's a heritage building. I'm saying this because it's a building that houses the administration in the city of Johannesburg. Any report and any decision that has to do with the precinct itself, over and above the fact that it has to be presented to council, it is one that is taken with the necessary care and the necessary respect that it deserves. And going back to the disruption in service delivery, I have requested Group ICT to ensure that during the disruption and the interruptions that we are faced with, many of the critical services that are housed at the Metro Center Precinct are not disrupted for a long period. And the concern about service delivery, the executive has implemented what we call an accelerated service delivery program. And I must say that we have worked very well with ward council. When we talk about service delivery, it's not a rhetorical. This service delivery program, Madam Speaker, and I'm just stating this because we are speaking specifically on service delivery. It's much like the situation that we are faced with the Metro Center Precinct, because the intention of the administration is to firstly restore the services that have been disrupted, so that moving forward, service delivery is a seamless process that doesn't need the highest level of escalation for it to happen. So we take into careful consideration what our residents are without at this point. And the challenges are wide in the city of Johannesburg, but I am confident in the current administration, because whether as a collective or in their individual capacity, our residents are experiencing their efforts in addressing their conditions. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor. Councillors, that concludes our informal session. We will now go back to the formal session of council and proceed with our agenda as stipulated. Thank you.
Councillors, we move to application for leave of absence.
Leave of absence, Councillor Christians. Can we have the roving mic?
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I had my hand raised before you moved on, because in terms of Rule 59...
No. Leave of absence, please. Leave of absence. Do you have anyone for leave of absence? Councillor Avan Smith?
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Coogan is not present due to ill health, and Councillor Seko will arrive late. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Nyambe? ICT, can we assist with the sound, please? Councillor, try to press it now.
Thank you, Speaker. From the IFP, we have the one for Councillor Mabaso and Councillor Makhubele, party business. They're attending the national workshop for IEC. And Councillor Kanyile is asking to leave at 4. Yes.
Leave of absence, Councillor Rafferty, and then, Councillor Marema, and then Councillor Mohapi.
Go first.
From Action SA, we have Councillor Durant, Councillor Shumba, Councillor Johnson, and Konyeni, who are sick, Mkunu for private business, and Ngobeni for family bereavement.
Thank you, Councillor. Although I didn't acknowledge you, you need to wait for my acknowledgement so we properly record your apologies. Councillor Rafferty?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just from the Patriotic Alliance, Councillor Dwayne Ponsonby on private business. Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Marem.
Thank you very much. I would like to submit the apologies for the following councillors from the ANC. Councillor Mongameli will arrive late. Councillor MMC Nomoyam Nisi will arrive late. Councillor Maswazi will arrive late. Councillor Gottfried Setlo is off sick. Councillor Mokwena off sick. Councillor Tefu, the private business. Councillor Nguse, private business. Councillor Francisco Deborah off sick. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mohapi.
The last part.
Sorry, Speaker, man, I just forgot Councillor Brenda Dame. She's still off sick, sorry.
Thank you, Speaker. From the EFF, we've got Councillor Ndwele, ill health, Councillor Ntlapo, private business, Councillor Raulani, ill health, Councillor Mpahlele, private business, and MMC Mgcini will ask to leave at 2 o'clock to do inspection at Isidingo building. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got Councillor Avan Smith again here. Then I think we'll be done.
Thank you, Speaker. Sorry, I forgot Councillor Ahmed, also off with ill health. Sorry.
Thank you, councillors. Any other leave of absence? Can we approve the apologies as submitted? Can we approve the apologies? Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, kindly accept my apology. There are other apologies that were submitted here. Councillor Nontenja and the Chair of Chairs, Councillor Phillips, and also the City Manager submitted his apology. Thank you.
We move to official notices.
Councillors, please join me in wishing well the councillors who celebrate their birthday during the month of September and October. We'll start with the month of September. Councillor Chabalala, Councillor Christians, Councillor Deuce, Councillor Deuce, Councillor Doyle, Councillor Echens Njoku, Councillor Jacobs, Councillor Komani, Councillor Machete, Councillor Marumo, Councillor Muepi, Councillor Mukwena, Councillor Murero, Councillor Mphahlele, Councillor Munyai, Councillor Ndou, Councillor Nyembe, Councillor Raulani, Councillor Ramafikeng, Councillor Steenkamp, Councillor Van Veek, and Councillor Wex. These are the September birthdays. You can wish them well before we go to the October. Thank you. The October birthdays, Councillor Hoon, Councillor Howitz, Councillor Hughes, Councillor Kunene, Councillor Lobby, Councillor Mazibuko, Councillor Mkize, Councillor Mhlongo, Councillor Mnyameni, Councillor Mukwari, Councillor Mulife, Councillor Mulise, Councillor Mure, Councillor Mpotulo, Councillor Ntlapo, Councillor Phillips, Councillor Peterson, Councillor Rakosa, Councillor Roberts, Councillor Shupe, Councillor Chuma, Councillor Matabani, and Councillor Whistler. We wish you all well. May God richly bless you.
We are on the statement by the Executive Mayor.
Okay. He just stepped out to relieve himself. We are going to come back to the statement by Executive Mayor. Shall we move to the minutes? Can we move to the minutes? This one. Let's do minutes and we'll come back.
Moving on to item 4, which is confirmation of minutes. And the minutes being confirmed are the minutes of the 21st extraordinary meeting held on the 29th and 30th of August 2023, and minutes of the 14th ordinary meeting held on the 31st of August 2023, and lastly, the minutes of the 22nd extraordinary meeting held on the 5th of September 2023.
Councillors, we have the following councillors that want to comment on the minute. DA, Councillor Rainton. Councillor Rainton. The sound. Can we assist with the sound?
Stand up.
You don't need to stand up because of the sound.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The DA has no input on the minutes. They are largely a reflection of the meetings that took place. Thank you.
Thank you. Action Essay, Councillor Davids Green. Nothing. There's no sound, but she has no inputs. Thank you very much. ANC, Councillor Mazibuko.
The minutes. Speaker, the minutes, as the ANC, we confirm the minutes with no amendments.
Thank you, EFF, Councillor Mohapi, no inputs. Thank you. Councillors, can we confirm the minutes as submitted? Oh, Councillor, just hold on. Councillor Schmidt from Freedom Front, please proceed.
Speaker, the minutes of the 30th, the 29th and the 30th of August, page 42, that is the correct version of what happened there. Because that was passed, then motion 12 fell away, whereas it's stating that it was not debated. The motion fell away because it was accepted in the previous motion.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillors, can we confirm the minute with that amendment that was tabled by Councillor Smith? Councillors, confirm. Thank you very much. Is the Executive Mayor back? Not yet.
We proceed with item 5, which is recommendations to council.
Executive Mayor is not here. Leader of Executive Business, MMC Masuku. Recommendations to council.
Good morning, fellow councillors. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the executive, I rise to table recommendations to council.
Thank you. Chairperson Rafferty.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the legislature, I'd like to table the reports. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Christian, what is it?
Madam Speaker, apparently the live feed to residents isn't showing.
Councillors, I just want to take 2 minutes with IT to look into the sound before we proceed to the reports. If you want a body break, please take it. 2 minutes, I'm going to ring the bell. Or they want 5 minutes to fix the sound. So please take a body break for 5 minutes while they look into the sound and the streaming. Thank you, councillors. Can we sit down and proceed? Councillors, can I ask you to sit down, please? Here. Councillors at the back, please sit down. Thank you. We will now proceed with the business of the day. Before we do, I would like to acknowledge the city manager who is here. Thank you so much, Mr. Floyd Brink. And we also then acknowledge the councillors that have joined us in the city of Johannesburg, the new councillors that have been sworn in. This is their first time in council. We've got Councillor Jacobs from the Democratic Alliance. Kindly stand up. Let us welcome you. Councillor Jacobs. Where's Councillor Jacobs? Welcome, Councillor Jacobs. Thank you for choosing to serve with us in the city of Johannesburg. We've got Councillor Nube from the Democratic Alliance. Welcome, Councillor Nube. Thank you for choosing to serve with us. And we have Councillor Chuma from Action SA. Welcome, Councillor Chuma. Thank you so much for choosing to serve with us. Thank you, councillors. We'll now proceed.
Councillors, we proceed with recommendations to council, starting with the first item, which is performance assessment report for the Community Development Department for the 2022-23 financial year for the period April to June 2023. Read together with item 2, which is a performance assessment report for the Joburg City Theatre for the 2022-23 financial year for the period April to June 2023. Also read together with item 3, which is a performance assessment report for the Joburg City Parks and Zoo for the 2022-23 financial year for the period April to June 2023. And lastly, read together with item 43, which is an oversight report of the Section 79 Community Development Committee of the 2022-23 fourth quarter performance assessment report of the Department of Community Development, Joburg City Theatre, Joburg City Parks and Zoo for the period April to June 2023.
Chairperson Arnold.
Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Arnold, please hold on. Councillors and our guests, the noise level is so high. Councillors and guests, our visitors, officials, the noise level is so high. I'm kindly requesting that everybody keeps quiet. We are proceeding with our business of the day. Councillors will be talking and we need to hear them. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Speaker. Greetings to the Executive Mayor, all political parties, leaders present, the AIC Whip, Councillor Mhlongo, and Councillor Christians, good morning or good afternoon. Speaker, I rise to table the fourth quarter oversight report of the Department of Community Development and its entities for 2022-2023 financial year. Madam Speaker, in community development, only 2 of the 27 KPIs were not achieved. These were under expenditure of the CAPEX budget as well as delayed payment of 1% of submitted invoices. In both cases, the underachievement has been because of the city's cash flow. A major challenge that continues to slow down this department is the inadequate security at our facilities. Madam Speaker, we are hopeful that the hybrid security model will result in the preservation of our infrastructure and more cost-effective expenditure on repairs and maintenance. We've had a good performance report on the following: the ongoing delivery of e-resources at the libraries. Under Arts, Culture and Heritage, there were public arts installations at Diagonal Square and the refurbishment of the James Hall Museum. Madam Speaker, we have a problem under sports and recreation. The committee has been concerned about the delays in the opening of some swimming pools across the city due to non-payment of service providers who were appointed to take care of from the new budget. Madam Speaker, 2,525 job opportunities were created through EPWP and 392 SMMEs were supported. When we get to JCPZ, only 3 out under expenditure on CAPEX as well as underachievement in the establishment of partnership. Also very commendable, Madam Speaker, is the appointment of the Managing Director during this period, as well as the filling of 22 positions. City Theatres, Johannesburg City Theatres for this period has been doing well, 100% expenditures on OPEX and CAPEX. Before I sit down, Madam Speaker, I would like to make an amendment on the recommendation 4 of the oversight report. The word Rietvlei Zoo farms need to be substituted with Rietkale Zoo Farm. In conclusion, I recommend that Council approves the fourth quarter performance report of community development.
Thank you. Action Essay, Councillor Masocha. IT, the mic.
Testing. Oh. Good morning, Madam Speaker. The lovely, youthful, fearless firecracker, Action SA caucus leader Nobuhle Mthembu, and the fabulous, unprecedented 44. From an Action SA perspective, we would like to acknowledge the reports, mainly JCT Theatres for continuously leading the department through excellence, ComDev and JCT for achieving an overall satisfactory outcome in the fourth quarter. ComDev an overall of 93% and JCT overall 100%. However, Madam Speaker, my concerns here include the lack of security tools of trade, the zero alarm systems in place, no backup systems for our vast facilities. While there is also a supposed budget in place, we cannot ignore lack of security throughout our facilities. Can the howlers on the left just quieten down? The Best Valley Recreational Center, we have in-source securities there living on the site, which is a huge concern. And also the homelessness, the lack of housing in our recreational facilities where we have a lot of homelessness, people living there. The housing department needs to come in and intervene. It is shocking. Again, with the swimming pools, chemicals are being delivered where the pools are empty. There are lifeguards at work at empty pools to date. The continuous failure to achieve the targets on the repairs and maintenance and capital projects is also underwhelming. Last week, I went on an observation in the Deep Sloot area, and I found that there was physical aerobics taking place at the mall, and I was shocked to find that with the budget that has been allocated to the Siya Vodka, that they only had a COJ gazebo and a Bluetooth speaker. Madam Speaker, my question is, where does the budget go? Where is the money going for these activations? To date, we also still struggle to see the calendar activations that we have asked for. So also another concern is the vague reporting that we receive here in the ComDev.
Thank you. Councillor Smith, Freedom Front Plus. Mike, please. Just have the roving mic with you. Here. Butter. Butter. Can we have a second roving mic, just in case we need it?
Okay, Madam Speaker, ComDev, it sounds like a revolving record a lot of the times because everything that we're saying today gets repeated time and time again, and The same thing, every single time we have a quarterly, the same things come up time and time again, and nothing seems to improve. The maintenance of the facilities is literally discussed at every single meeting. The recreation centers are virtually starting to fall to pieces. We've done site visits out to Cllr River, and there's maintenance that is desperately needed, but it just never gets done. When it comes to the cemetery, sorry, that's another one. The swimming pools, only a portion of them opened in September. We need to know, we've been asking for a list of which ones opened, which ones didn't, and to date we still don't know the full list of who's open and who's closed. And we need a report on this urgently, because we need to see where we are. The community are not benefiting from these pools at this present moment if the pool is closed. And as been mentioned, the chemicals are being delivered to pools that are closed, but we don't know where they're going.
Councillor Smith, just hold on. The councillors behind Councillor Smith, can you please stop having the chit-chat? Can we respect the councillors that are on the podium? Please proceed, Councillor. Your colleagues behind you are talking while you are presenting. Please go ahead.
Okay. The under-expenditure of CAPEX, as I've stated before in this chamber, if you don't use it, you lose it. And every single year, even when I was still previously, in my previous terms when I served as a councillor, we brought this up every single year, and it has been since going on like this since 2000. They ask for the money, but they don't use the money. And this, we need to put a stop to this. Overall, the department has not performed as good as it should have. And it's time that the cemeteries, I get regular complaints
30 seconds.
I get regular complaints about West Park and about Olifants Place Cemetery. Vagrants, long grass, I could carry on forever. I think it's time for us to start implementing consequence management in the departments. I thank you.
Councillor Sifumba, DA.
Thank you, Speaker. Greetings, councillors, officials, and our visitors. Mas Togos. Speaker, just wanted to request that I also take up Councillor Mazibugo's time because he won't be speaking. Thank you. Speaker, while we acknowledge the accomplishments outlined in the Sports and Recreation Services and the Arts, Culture and Heritage Department, we must also recognize the areas that demand improvement and innovation. Firstly, let us commend the remarkable participation in sports and recreation programs with a staggering 3.671 million participants. However, Speaker, it's crucial to delve deeper and ask whether these programs are truly accessible to all segments of our diverse community. I'll make a simple example. Since 2017, community development under the then administration was able to open over 90% of swimming pools, which after that, none of that happened. We see only 18 out of 54 swimming pools opened. Are we effectively reaching marginalized communities and individuals who may face barriers to participation, such as financial constraints or physical limitations? It is imperative, Speaker, that we ensure equitable access to these services. While competitive sporting codes have flourished, we must acknowledge that development programs for aspiring athletes and often underfunded and lack essential resources. We should commit to nurturing young talent by investing in coaching, facilities, and equipment, particularly in underserved areas. This would not only boost sports program, but also provide opportunities for our youth to excel. If we truly are serious about producing more Springboks in the future, it should start in the city of Johannesburg. In terms of arts, culture, and heritage, the preservation of our heritage is vital. Yet, we must ask whether the restoration efforts truly encompass all aspects of our cultural diversity. Are we adequately preserving the heritage of all communities in Johannesburg, including those with unique histories and traditions? It's essential, Speaker, that our preservation efforts are comprehensive and inclusive. We can't have a city of them and they. It has to be an inclusive city. The success of the Johannesburg Choral Music Festival and the celebration of Africa Month are commendable. However, we must ensure that these cultural events are not just annual occurrences, but rather ongoing efforts to promote and revive various art forms. Consistent support for local artists and cultural initiatives is key to sustaining our vibrant cultural scene. Turning our attention to capital infrastructure development, we appreciate the launch of Lehigh Library. Yet, there's a need for more extensive network of such facilities across the city. A single library, no matter how successful, cannot meet the educational and literacy needs of our entire community. Case in point, in Cllr Park, we don't have a library. We are served by Naturena Library, which has literally 2 books in that library. In terms of resources, there aren't any resources. Speaker, we should prioritize the establishment of libraries and community centers in underserved areas. Areas are mushrooming, or locations and houses are mushrooming everywhere, but there are no facilities. The repairs and maintenance of facilities is also crucial, but the challenges encountered in these endeavors require innovative solutions. The establishment of a panel of service providers who will solely service community development facilities is paramount, as implementing agents such as JPC, JOSHCO, and JDA have not been effective over the years, which led to a deterioration of these facilities. The sooner the panel is constructed, the better we are to strengthen the department and overcome these challenges effectively. While communication and marketing efforts have intensified through social media, as the report states, we must also ensure that they reach those who may not have access to these platforms. Let's consider alternative means of communication to reach all community members. We cannot, I repeat, have a Joburg for them and they. Lastly, Speaker, we commend the support, sensitize them of the plea that is out there of not finding your loved one at a cemetery. And then digitization of cemetery records was introduced by the then MD. The city invested 14 million towards this project, but it was unfortunately withdrawn. However, we have heard that the MMC, the current MMC, is also pushing for it because it's important as a city to ensure that we respect those who are sleeping. Madam Speaker, we will continuously advocate for the digitization of cemetery records in order to provide dignity for the City of Johannesburg residents. In conclusion, while progress has been made, we must remain vigilant in addressing the areas that require improvement. By focusing on equitable access, youth development, comprehensive cultural preservation, expanded infrastructure, and enhanced communication, Speaker, we can truly empower our residents and create a more vibrant, inclusive, and culturally rich Johannesburg. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Patriotic Alliance, Councillor Simonse.